Machine pencil cartography. Today I wanted to give some basic navigational instructions for navigating safely on the streets. If you haven't already noticed, I sort of have a routine for examining navigational considerations of line features. I will usually prepare navigational considerations for two cases. I will prepare how to use the line features as a guide rail, meaning that I will imagine myself following this feature, and then I will prepare how to cross this line feature in the perpendicular axis. This is very much so a quality navigational training exercise. This is called an orthotic examination. When applying this examination to the study of navigation on roadways as a pedestrian, I would begin by showing how people followed roads as guide rails. Pedestrians will navigate down roads walking along the sidewalks. It is worth noting that sometimes roads don't have sidewalks, and these roads are not very accommodating for pedestrians. For example, most expressways don't have sidewalks, and in this case you will resort to walking in the shoulder of the road. This is because pedestrians are discouraged from navigating along expressways. When roads don't have sidewalks, techniques for walking down the center line of the road are also common. These techniques are suitable for navigating along minor roads, and especially side streets. It is worth noting that walking along the center line of the road will not be suitable for all roads. This technique will be especially unsuitable for walking along major roads and expressways. Next, I will examine pedestrian crosswalks. This will fulfill the orthotic examination in the perpendicular direction. It is common advice to look both ways before you cross the street. It is also known that on a busy time of day, you may have to yield for traffic. Therefore, you may find that the traffic is either open road traffic, which will capture the fact that at a specific time of day you are unlikely to have to yield for traffic, or alternatively, you may encounter closed or congested traffic. You will experience much more traffic on a major road than you will on minor roads, and for this reason, it is advisable to stay off of major roads if it is possible. Additional considerations are available when discussing pedestrian crosswalks. For example, you may prioritize to look for traffic coming from one specific source. You may also consider traffic coming from one specific direction. You may consider that the traffic composition during rush hour is commuter traffic, and that the direction of commuter traffic will flip-flop, and the polarization of commuter traffic will have the opposite orientation in the evening that it had in the morning. Finally, I would like to discuss mechanics pertaining to navigating around corners. We are examining navigational patterns which occur when a person performs changes of heading at places where two streets come together to form a perpendicular intersection. It can be noticed that people like to trim the corners off of these turns, and they call this behavior cutting corners. It is known that these techniques are actually cost-saving measures. Therefore, I am not here to proselytize that you should never cut corners. In acknowledgement that people like to cut corners, I have also promoted that when the technique is performed correctly, we will call this squaring the corner. These two techniques are complementary techniques, and distinguishing between the two will contribute to building navigational discipline. Finally, I have wanted to discuss one additional aspect of the corner cutting technique. It may be shown using trigonometry that the actual proportion of distance saved could be calculated using the Pythagorean theorem. The proportion between the hypotenuse of the triangle and the sum of both of its sides will be equal to the square root of 2 divided by 2. This number resolves to 70% and demonstrates that we may achieve a 30% savings in fuel if this technique is performed correctly. Thank you guys for watching. This has been Machine Pencil Cartography, signing out.